love the movie Black Hawk Down! And odds are you do too, but did you know that the movie got so many things wrong about Delta kits? There's many interviews with Ranger guys and Delta operators who were on that mission, and they reflect on that movie with mixed results. So I figured we'd take a look at the movie kits today and dissect what they got right and what they got horribly wrong. Of course, I acknowledge they're working on budgets and constraints and what equipment they can actually get. But when watching the movie, they tried to focus on a lot of historical accuracy. So some of these details were truly disappointing. And let's start with a heavy hitter, and that's the rifles. You got the general idea right, but so many of them are actually using M733s and 727s. Speaking of things they never used that actually never existed at the time, was the Aimpoint M2 sights. Those were iconic and some of the biggest optics on the market, but not at all during the time of actual Black Hawk Down. And what's worse is they're using them on arms mounts. They're going to want to have Aimpoint 3000s or 5000s and have them on the MGW mounts, the Weaver rails to be particular. But Black Hawk Down just didn't get these. And honestly, my guess is because the Aimpoint optics got really expensive and there were, I'm sure, plenty of repros or cheap versions of M2s available out there. Even to this day, I've never seen a repro of an Aimpoint 3000 or 5000. Please, someone make one. And the other thing that's absolutely horrifically egregious is putting the light on the barrel. Whether this is actually a Laser Product 6P or a Surefire 660, I can't even tell, but they're always on a barrel and never mounted to the handguard. It makes sense because odds are the prop department didn't want to modify things that they had rented or whatnot. Putting it on the underside of your handguard like this requires no modification, and it is way more accurate than mounting it anywhere on the barrel for Delta guys during this time. The next thing is the helmets. I do want to give them credit. For some of the main actors that you'll see very close up, they do use proper 1990s style ones. In my video about the helmets and picking the right one, I do show the differences because there definitely are some, but it is closer in that the chin strap is more correct and the general ear shaping is slightly better than the modern ones. But if you zoom out and get broader pictures of the Delta guys, you will see a lot of those modern Y straps, and it just hurts to see. And the headsets are even worse. In fact, I can't even identify some of these headsets in there. I know for sure they're not the Task 1 headsets or the Setcoms, and again, these are probably really rare even for the time, so I don't blame them, but it's definitely missing. And with that, they're also missing some other key accessories on the helmet, like the strobe lights. It wasn't on every Delta guy, and sometimes it's too common of a trope to see, but it is not present on that movie. The night vision accessories would have been nice to see properly done as well, including the Anvis 6 battery pack and the Anvis mount up front, because we'll get to the night vision later in this video, but those were not present in the movie and very common to see during the actual Battle of Mogadishu. The last thing on the helmets is the goggles. A lot of them are wearing Oakley style goggles or some other modernized form, but the SWDGs are still cheap to this day. I wish they just went with a bunch of these. Wait, hold on. If you want to support this channel anymore, check out the Patreon and YouTube memberships. We've got guys on there that are getting exclusive content, exclusive files that I use for kits like this. Check them out. If you guys want to support any other way, just like, comment, subscribe. That's all I can ask from you. Let's keep going though. All right, let's jump down to the fun gear. We get to the body armor. Not a single Delta guy is wearing the TG Faust. They're wearing the PT body armor set, which looks close enough from like 30 feet away, but as soon as you get close enough to look at the details, it's very, very evident how different they are. And the chest rigs too. Many of them are using the Black Hawk Strike Vest, which is a copy of the rigger designed one, so the idea is close enough, but really it's not the correct one. Same thing with the Alice belts. There are a couple guys using the Alice belts with the magazine pouches and canteen pouches and all that, but not nearly as common as they were in the movie. And the most egregious in this topic category is going to be the Black Hawk Omega vest. This is one of those classic cross-draw style. I believe they just had the magazine pouches on the front, not the actual pistol holster, but it's wacky that it's there. Maybe they're trying to represent some of the guys that were carrying the flight vests that were modified, but really you don't see a single one of those in the real one, so why are they even there? And now let's get into some more of those, just minor details, like the night vision. In the movie, they're using PVS 7s. Ugh. Those weren't even around at the time. The Anvis 6 night vision that they were using, they got from pilots. And pilots weren't running the PVS 7, so they've goofed on that. Also, moving downwards, the knee pads that they used were all the modern style, not the correct bike or Alta knee pads. And the drop-leg holsters look to be the cloth or nylon Black Hawk ones or Eagle Industries ones, not the correct Safariland or AWS rigger-made ones. And the boots, I see jungle boots, I see black boots, maybe representative of the GSG 9s, but the tan desert boots are where it's at more commonly than any other one during Mogadishu. And that's a lot of negativity, but let me come clean about something. All the Delta Force gear, learning about the Battle of Mogadishu, and all the engagements prior to, all sparked from me sitting down and watching that movie one night very recently, in fact within the last year. I texted one of my good buddies, Stripes Airsoft, and I said, hey, Want to do this kit together? He said, hell yeah, and the rest is history. So I can appreciate some certain things. As Greg Wong said, they got the overall color palette and profile right, and I'd have to agree with him on that. In general, the desert uniform, the black vest, and the short, cool-looking M4 style guns, that's pretty good. To the untrained eye, or like from 100 feet away, they'd look pretty similar. I bet if I showed my fiance 2 pictures side by side, she'd be like, yeah, those are the same. And I do like how the uniforms are modified relatively well. You don't see any egregious raid mods that are terribly wrong, although there could be some more variation in like Velcro color and all that. And lastly, the idea of Blackhawk. If you know a bit of your history, Blackhawk was a company, but a lot of the unit riggers and whatnot ended up working at companies like Blackhawk, Eagle Industries, AWS, and whatnot, so the designs were spread throughout the industry. So you can't blame them for using Blackhawk gear because, I mean, sure, it's in the name, but it's pretty close otherwise. Once again, not perfect. So if you want to build a proper impression, go look at the last video. Okay, that was a lot of negativity and ranting. I love the movie. I think it's a fun watch, and getting to talk to the actual veterans of that operation is really sobering. So when you do want to build out a loadout, try not to do it like the movie, especially your Gordon guns. Oh my God. That video feels like an eternity ago, but still so fresh in the mind. With that being said, check out my previous videos that talk all about this kit in actual detail. I'm here for any questions you guys got. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Gear.Locker. We'll see you in the next one in the Moog or whatever we got going on. I think the next one's actually a roast video. Stay tuned for that.